Business by board members. We'll start with Ms. Skeeter.
Thank you. I'd like to say thanks to the superintendent and the school administration for the lovely gift they've given us to show us that they really appreciate us as to what we do every day for Suffolk Public Schools. I think with the young couple that was just up here talking about the parking, we can get that straight. I don't know why we can't. You know, the rules are there. We know what the law is. I think if you, Dr. Whitney, if you pull your transportation team together, someone, they will make arrangements to get whatever's happening. We do not want to wait until something happens and say, I told you so, in there. It would hurt us. The same thing as we heard in the media about a person entering the school who was not aware, I don't think, of what he was doing at the time. But I have a parent who calls me every month about putting a buzzer on the doors at the school. I know it's going to cost us some monies, but I'm sure when she called last night, it was, didn't I tell you, Miss Skeeter? They are just walking off the street into the schools. We've talked about that a couple of months. I think we need to act on these situations for the safety of our children. If I send my child to school, I want it to be safe in there as well as at home. So I'm sure we can work through that situation with the bus activity. I'm like Mr. Copeland, I'm not aware of it. I have not been out there to see what's actually happening. But let's take action and try to see if we can't handle that. Thank you.
Thank you. Being the newbie on the school board, I had an opportunity this past month to attend the Virginia School Board Association Conference for new school board members. And I'd like to thank Dr. Whitney for sending me to that conference. It was an excellent workshop, and I feel like I can be a better school board member because I was able to attend. I'd like to thank the staff at Creekside and Driver Elementary School for their hospitality while I've been in your building volunteering. In the past month, I've attended meetings of the Special Education Advisory Committee and the Suffolk Education Foundation, and have been becoming full member of their boards. And I'd like to announce that the Suffolk Education Foundation has a new executive director as of February 1st. Her name is Miss Michelle Lachura, and I hope that she'll be able to meet with Dr. Whitney in the near future. And lastly, I'd like to commend the PTA and the Suffolk Public School Administration for putting on an excellent family enhancement workshop at Nasman River High School. It was a great opportunity for families and school employees to come together, and a great educational opportunity. Thank you.
I too attended the Virginia School Boards Association meeting, but I usually stick around. For the last 2 years, I've been around, and someone asked the SEA and the VEA and the Virginia PTA, and each time I've gone to visit lawmakers in our area. Now, this year, the lawmakers from our region were in meetings when I went to their offices. I don't intend to stop. I went last year as well to ask them about fully funding schools. So I want you to know that that's definitely something that's on the radar, and I don't have a problem going to Richmond. I'd like to join you on the 18th, but I have a job, so I probably better be there at work. But I don't want anybody to see me on television at the rally. But I do want you to know that I will be communicating with those persons who are representatives for us, because we do need to help people understand that if we want to have the quality that we say we want to have, we have to fund it. I do believe, too, that riding the bus is indeed a privilege, and that student discipline is something that we need to be concerned about, and it shouldn't take 6, 7, 8 times in order for a child to be disciplined for misbehaving on the bus. I believe that as parents, they're going to have to step up to the plate and be responsible for their children and support us in what we're trying to do. I want to say thank you to those, I think the school folks are gone, well, one is here. I really did appreciate the presentations that we saw. I was sharing with parents about our programs, what kinds of things we offer in Suffolk Public Schools so they don't have to go to other places to find those programs. We have some outstanding programs, and I hope we continue in the way that we're going to support them. As always, I enjoy interacting with children in our school division, and I'm very proud of the kind of work that's done there. So thank you to all our employees.
Ms. Byrum.
Ditto to what Dr. Buck said. We did attend that conference, a legislative conference, and, you know, there are about 150 odd bills out there in the General Assembly dealing with education. For many of those people, it's an election year, and we see a lot of bills, of course. But as they just stated a few moments ago, you know, putting kids first is very important in the state of Virginia. And you look at the figures that Ms. Forsman gave us tonight of what the state is contributing to this over the last few years, and you know, then you see some of these bills that they're introducing. I do encourage the public and everyone that's interested in public education to look at those bills and realize the implication that those bills will have on some of us and some programs that we have. You know, I think today many of us were probably contacted by email, and daily we're contacted to ask our legislators to think, you know, before you vote on some of these bills that will be detrimental to public education. And I applaud all of those that are working for this Put Kids First program. I think that's an excellent step forward. I do hope many of us will be able to help with that. Other things that thinking of that we have all been involved in. A few weeks back, we had an excellent science fair project presented by our Quest students at Kings Fork Middle School, and I was glad to be a judge there with Dr. Whitney on that. And we had some excellent projects presented and from our middle school students, and they did an excellent job. Their parents were on hand, grandparents. Many of the public were there to see what our kids had accomplished. And I congratulate especially Dr. Walsh and Dr. Davenport, who coordinated, I believe, some of those activities. And it was very successful, and I congratulate the parents and the students for their participation and all of the winners. Another thing in our community that has been in the news recently has been the opening of the Whaleville Community Center, a new recreational facility. Robertson Elementary, of course, closed a few years ago in my community, and now we have a wonderful recreational facility in the Whaleville community. I was on hand for the opening of that with Councilman Miltier, Mayor Johnson, and many other city officials. And I want to encourage people to take a look in our direction. It's a wonderful opportunity for all people in Suffolk, and I know we have one at East Suffolk Recreation, and we're going to soon get one in the Bennett's Creek area, and we are very proud of this in our community, and it's another step in the right direction to offer many, many opportunities to our youth and to our families for family activities. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Bouchard.
I've already said enough tonight, but since the first semester has already passed, I'm wondering if there's any way that we can get a picture of what we might be able to expect from the SOLs at the end of the year by maybe seeing how the kids did on the benchmark test in the first semester. Would that be a possibility?
We should finish not only not only benchmark assessments, but also NWEA. We can present that at the March school board, actually.
That would be great. I'd appreciate it. And one comment about those science projects. A little girl did a really great project on what different substances stained the teeth the most. Unfortunately, it was red wine, just to let you know that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would like to express, been stated already, but riding the bus is a privilege. And my hat goes off to the bus drivers because they have to keep their eyes on the front by looking what's going on in the front, and at the same time they have to look in the mirror and see what's going on behind them, and which is very difficult to do. So I'm quite sure our superintendent will look into this matter and see what can be done, because it's very important to have safety on the buses. And if the students don't know how to behave themselves, then they just renege the opportunity to ride the bus. And also, I'd like to ask the various schools, as superintendent, he can't enforce this, of course, but if by chance, since this is Afro-American month, that there's the documentary film out on strength of our roots, and this film is sort of indicating the history of the area of National Training School out in the Holland community, the first black public high school in Nansemond County, a Rosenwald school, and they have a film out. And we encourage the various schools to look at this film. It's educational, and it's historical, and it's people you see every day. Some of the people you see, you're looking. If you see the film, you'll look at me. I'm in the film, being a product of that school, and the school was in existence long before I graduated from it. In fact, 1931 had its first graduating class, and I'm fortunate to say my sister finished in 1933. So we are very proud of the history of the school and also in the Holland community. So we encourage the schools to look at this film. It's something that is right here at us, and it's not something that foreign. At the same time, I'd like to thank Dr. Whitney and the staff for what they are doing in the way of making our schools, our school system a very pleasant one and a very learning environment for all our students. And so we look forward to the remainder of this school year, and hopefully our students will behave, and if they don't, we have to do what you have to do. We have to indicate to them that we're going to have a safe environment in our school. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Copeland. I too agree with that preposition and proposition. If we have rules and ordinances in place for bus behavior and they're not being followed, we need to address that in the schools, it sounds like to me. But if the bus drivers are not sending the referrals in, then that's a different story. But if there are referrals coming in on a regular basis, we're not addressing them, then we're going to have continued problems on the bus. So if you would, please address that to the principals. On another note about bus drivers, I think that we need to look at the Kings Fork Middle School with you and the new bus supervisor, possibly the police officer there, the school principal, and if possible, the lady and gentleman that were up here today to visit in unison so that we could get to some resolution there. Finally, I'd also like to say that we have volunteers coming into our school, and they are not covered by our insurance. If one of them should get hurt, then the only recourse for them is to sue us for liability. That makes sense? Can you help me out, Mr. Waller?
I'm not sure they would have much success doing that unless there is some gross negligence on the part of the school division. The most they could do is have their own private coverage that would protect them while they were in our buildings. And the reason for that, the reason they're not covered is because, number one, they're not employees, so they wouldn't be covered by workers' comp if they were injured. And we don't have anything under our general liability policy that would cover volunteers in our building. So, having said that, there is no coverage for volunteers working in Suffolk Public Schools.
Coverage at all. And that's it. That's all I have. Dr. Whitney, you have anything to add to it?
No.
Okay. At this time, we'll go ahead and have the personnel report.
Mr. Chair, I move that the personnel report be adopted.
Second.
Board Member Bouchard,
Yes.
Board Member Brooksbach,
Yes.
Board Member Byrum,
Yes.
Board Member Mitnick,
Yes.
Board Member Skeeter,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Copeland,
Aye.
Chairman Debranski,
Yes.
motion
Pupil
carried.
personnel report.
Mr. Chair, I move that the pupil personnel report be adopted.
Board Member Bouchard,
Yes.
Board Member Brooksbach,
Yes.
Board Member Byrum,
Yes.
Board Member Mitnick,
Yes.
Board Member Skeeter,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Copeland,
Aye.
Chairman Debranski,
Yes.
motion carried.
Student appeal 14/15/7.
Mr. Chair, I move that the student appeal 14/15-7 be approved. Be denied, I'm sorry.
Denying the
Be
student's
denied.
request.
Yes, be denied.
Second.
Board Member Bouchard,
Yes.
Board Member Brooksbach,
Yes.
Board Member Byrum,
Yes.
Board Member Mitnick,
Point of information, did we vote on this 14/15-7? That was the last case that we heard.
You're voting on it now.
That is the one up for vote at this time.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Copeland,
Aye.
Oh.
You missed one.
oh, excuse me,
Yes.
School Board Member Skeeter,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Copeland,
Aye.
Chairman Debranski.
Yes.
Motion
Student
carried.
appeal 14/15-8.
Mr. Chair, I move that student appeal 14/15-8 be denied.
Second.
Board Member Bouchard,
Yes.
Board Member Brooksbach,
Yes.
Board Member Byrum,
Yes.
Board Member Copeland, Mitnick,
Yes.
Board Member Skeeter,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Copeland,
Aye.
Chairman Debranski.
Yes.
Motion
Declare
carried.
this meeting adjourned. Thank you all for coming tonight. Come back again to see us next month.
Yeah, right. Bus is perfect.
I agree with
I
that.
know. Mitnick didn't know
Happy,
we were
yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Reverse them kind of.
I ignored it too, and I know that's where it came out.
Yeah, they're not paying attention to it. But it was much of application material.